لا يزال الخير حيا لا يزال إن في الدنيا سلاما وظلال.
It creates countries, religions, wars against other people, and the problem is we're not born with an ego.
So let's talk about why does the ego try to deny the existence of the creator? It's a denial.
The ego would just make a story. It's probably trying to protect you.
By denying the truth.
Joining a tribe.
By denying the truth.
I don't know. It's a bit like what the ego will do. It'll make stories up. It'll come up with it like you're ill, so I can't do something. It'll get you out of things. It'll make. It's not.
Sorry to
coming
interrupt.
from.
Do you mind if I just move you over here because we've got the sun and we can't see? If you don't mind, just so we can be on this side and you guys can stand over here, facing the sun.
So
because
they don't like the sun. We'll just move around because they don't like the sun.
You can't really.
You come on a very sunny day and you don't like the sun, huh? We'll just go. We'll turn around. No, we'll turn around. Robert, we'll turn around. That's fine. Yeah.
No, all I'm saying is that the ego.
You're always in the way, and it's beautiful.
You're born into a country, right? And then you're given a name. Let's say that you're born totally free, right? Without anything, labels, right? You're totally free, right? And then you're given a name. And then you're given a religion and you're moulded into a person, right? Well, that creates your separation of being separate from others with other
Interesting
thoughts, right?
you say that. Do you know why I'm saying very, very interesting? Because the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, every child is born in a state of fitra. Let me explain this term fitra in Arabic. Every child, doesn't matter which child it is, whether the child is rich or a poor family, child is born in certain geographical area of this earth. Every child is born in this state of disposition of knowing God, one God, okay? Knowing, for sure, it's inbuilt. The child is born in the state of fitra. It is the parents or the societies that makes the child a Buddhist or a Jew or a Christian or a fire worshipper and the like. So you are in a state where you're pure state. If you're left alone without this external influences from your immediate environment and your environment that is around you, maybe as you grow up in an environment with your families, your own parents, the society that you're living in, the school you go to, they then mold you and give you a religion other than the religion, the way of life that you're born with. So it is no surprise that you've understood this because that's the reality.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go to war about being a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew.
Why would people need to go to war?
Because the ego creates separation, right?
Give me the reasons why people normally go to the war, like as you've seen today in today's world. What's the drive to go to a war? What are they gaining from it?
Well, it's usually like religion corrupts people into believing things, or the government.
So people like Tony Blair and
George W.
Bush, are you saying their religion was the motivating?
They're corrupted by power.
So was it their religion that drove them to war? What was it?
They might say it was. It's all about selling arms.
There you go.
Body bags, oil, and all that.
So that's precisely this is precisely the big aim of you have this political objective. When you go to a war, you gain a lot of things. So weapons industry and selling weapons and seeing how the weapons are used in the actual battlefield sells more, right? And you sell them to the people after this for effect, like, this is how effective it is. And you open up a lot of other resources. When you go and loot a country and destroy the country by going to the war, you take all their resources, right? Yeah. So there are a lot of material gain that is
the other thing
obtained by war, and that's why Islam says no to any kind of war like that at all. Absolutely Not allowed. Islam, in history.
Yeah, but
just
we need
for
to
your
kill
information.
We need to kill each other because of
shouldn't.
nature, right?
We should not be killing each other.
If the world becomes overpopulated, nature will do something. It'll either come up with a disease, natural disasters, or wars to kill us, because the whole planet is just going to go. It's just going to go.
I don't see that. Do you know why I don't see that? Let me tell you why I don't see that. You mentioned about how people are born free.
Yeah.
And then they've given a name or a particular identity,
that
like you're a
French bloke
British,
said that, didn't
like you're British or you're French.
philosopher.
Like, if you think about it, there are many parts of the world that are uninhabited. They're there. There's no people. If you go to Australia, some parts of America and others, there are no people. So what people have done by artificially creating boundaries and restrictions, saying, okay, you can't come into my country, this is our country, you need a visa to come in and so on.
Yeah.
They have restricted the movement of the people, but the people are not to a brim that every human being is now, like this, each other, and the world's going to collapse. If you were to distribute these people all over the world, people will live quite happily. No problem with that. The world hasn't overpopulated to an extent that the world's going to collapse, the earth is going to collapse. So let me come back to the point that we were trying to discuss. Why do you think the ego tries to deny the existence of the creator when it's so obvious?
Well, the ego just makes up stories.
Do you believe in the existence of the creator?
No, I don't believe in anything.
So ask yourself
I don't believe in anything.
So, Robert,
Nothing.
Would you want to ask your ego? And I'll ask my ego.
I haven't got an ego, that's why I've come here.
So if you don't have an ego, I don't have an ego either, as you can see. I agree with most of the things that you say.
Do you realise that there isn't anything out there that you're separate from?
Explain a bit more.
Right, well, the ego is a separate thing. It makes you feel like you're a separate thing in a world with other things, right? That's not true.
This world, has it always been there, or was it at one point?
There's not even a world. Look, we don't know what this is. Nobody can know what this is.
When you say nobody can know,
You can't.
can you make such a statement? Nobody can know.
Thought cannot know what this is.
Robert, can you make a statement like nobody can know?
Well, I'm talking about something that is unknowable. So how can I use words?
But can you say with
No, you can't.
this assertion,
Anything
no
I
one
say-
can know? No one can know.
Nothing I say can know what this is. Everything is.
Okay.
Nothing. You can stick all the labels on.
Would you agree? Would you agree on one thing? The one who makes something knows that thing that they've made.
Well, they might think they do because their ego's telling them.
Those cameras that you
No,
see.
it's look, the
let's
ego,
understand,
look.
Robert. Let's understand one thing.
There's
Please.
no separation
Please.
between you and that camera, right? It's on a ground and you're on the ground,
Robert.
right?
These cameras, the
There's no
companies
There's no
that made
creator of it. Look.
the companies
There's
that
nothing.
made those cameras.
Pardon?
Do they know how these cameras function? Do they know how they work?
You're using
And does it
stories.
do
You're
the
just
work
creating
it's
another
created
story,
for?
mate. Look.
No, please.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
I
not
just want
listening.
you to admit one thing.
You can't use stories to know reality.
Did the people who made your shoes, do they know
Don't work, mate. No.
Did they know that this
There
shoes
are-
is to be
look.
worn on your foot, on your head?
Why are you calling these things around here people?
Who made them? These cameras?
Aliens?
Aliens?
What are these things out that you're saying that are out here?
These objects.
Yeah, because you've got an ego that is making you feel like you're an object
What do you
in
call-
a world of other
So,
objects.
what do you call these objects? What do you call them?
They're unknowable. You can't know what it is.
What are you wearing? Is that unknowable?
Everything is unknowable.
No, the thing
Everything.
the thing on your head. What is
You
it?
can't. No, you can't use words.
Sure.
See, because
So the
when you
thing,
get-
the
Like,
thing
all
that
the
is on your
mystics-
head.
Listen, all the mystics in the world that have never existed, they shut up because it can't. This
Sure.
can't be known.
Sure.
Right?
What are you wearing on your head?
Rumi was a Sufi mystic, and he said, "Why do you stay in your prison cell when the door is always open?"
Okay, Robert.
Right? Why did he say that?
Robert.
Because we live in a world of beliefs.
He asked you,
The beliefs-
he asked you a question.
No, I'm not
What's that
listening
you
to
wearing?
anymore.
Because he's given it a name.
He's
He's
not.
given a name.
What?
But somebody who created this given it a name.
Yeah, the names are irrelevant, mate. You're living in a world of I'm a Muslim. There's no look.
You're a
It's
Muslim.
the ego creating a box.
Do you know what a Muslim means? I'm sure you
I
are a
don't
Muslim.
care what it means.
Because everyone is born a Muslim. So
Look.
you're right in that sense.
the mystics are pointing to something, and you lot
Why do you call
here
them mystics?
aren't
Why do you give them
taking-
names?
Because I'm using words. You've got to use
should-
words, mate.
Right. So
If
we
I
agree
say-
we should be using words, right? So I should use a word to describe these
No,
objects.
but you don't want to. You don't want to go away and be quiet. That's all.
Right. So
You see?
who gave you life? Who gave you life?
I don't know.
Okay.
No one knows what reality is.
When you say
We call
again,
this reality,
again,
right?
when you say no one knows, how do you know no one knows?
Because it can't be known.
Okay.
can't be known.
The reason why I brought these cameras into this discussion, people or companies who make these cameras, they know how they work. And when you see the effects later on,
Look, I've heard you
when they
play-
are
I've
published on
heard you do that
YouTube,
before,
you will see
right?
that they knew how they work, right? So when God, our Creator, created us,
Yeah.
He knows.
That's a story.
He knows. No, He
It's a
knows.
story, mate.
He
It's just
knows
a
because He
story.
created us. ألا يعلم من خلق
Look,
وهو اللطيف
the
الخبير.
ego.
Would He, the one who creates, not know? He
I
is the
am-
most
it keeps
subtle, the
saying
well
I
aware.
am. Look, where is the I am in your experience now? Where is it?
Sure. So
No, listen. Where is
since-
the I am?
I will come back to this question in a second.
No, I don't. Where is the I am in your experience?
What do you mean
now?
by I am?
Well, you keep saying I am a Muslim. I am a this. I am a that. Where is the I am?
I haven't been saying I am. You said you are a Muslim, and I agree with you.
Everyone uses I am thinking, I am tasting, touching, smelling, don't they?
Okay.
Where's the I am?
Who is I?
Yeah, who is it?
Yeah.
Where is it?
No, I'm asking you, who is I?
Where is the I in your experience?
Okay. When you say yours, why are you calling me yours? Does that mean there is your existence?
You don't want to look. You're so busy talking.
Okay, Robert.
You don't want to
Robert.
look in your experience.
The moment you say yours, are you identifying there is a you?
I'm trying to say in words.
You just said you, yours.
Yeah.
So you've already identified there is something other than I,
No, there
which is
isn't.
you.
No, I'm not. I'm just keep telling
The
you.
moment you say
can't use
your
words.
experience, that means you said not my
You're
experience.
not listening.
I
You're
am
not
listening.
No, you're not.
When you say you are not
You're not
listening,
listening.
is that I or is that you? When you said you are not listening, are you suggesting that this you
Look,
who is not listening is
there
other
any-
than the
is
I?
there is there anything other in your experience other than thinking, tasting, hearing, smelling, and what is the other thing? Pardon? Touching. Is there anything else in your experience other than those things?
So you're talking about the five senses.
Yeah.
Do you have all the five senses working?
There's something happening, but my mind is saying, I am thinking.
Who is this I?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to ask you.
Good. Let me help you then.
What?
He's back to it.
Let's come back because you have found
The
a
I
problem.
is a thought, isn't it?
Whose thought?
When you say I am thinking,
Whose thought?
when you say I am thinking, thought is saying
Whose thought?
that you're thinking.
Yeah, whose thought?
I don't know, do I?
Okay. So when you are thinking, is that your thought or his thought?
You'll never get it, mate. You'll never get it. You're in your little ego, mate.
What is an ego?
It's the feeling of separation from everything.
Feeling
Yeah, it's a sensation.
coming from your five senses.
Well, thought is saying I am all the time. So you're going to keep saying
Can you have thoughts without a brain?
him over there. They work on the.
Robert.
Oh, he's a fucking idiot.
Excuse me, would you mind not using very vulgar
No,
language?
but I know what you guys. Oh, he's confused. He don't know nothing.
Who's saying you're confused?
That's
I think
what
you're
happens
very
on-
eloquent,
that's
isn't
what
it?
happens on.
I think you're
that's
very
what happens
eloquent.
in the comments on bloody YouTube. I know.
No, we are listening to you. You got your own.
Yeah, but like if you live in a world of an ego, right? You ain't gonna get it unless you have a look at your experience right now and see is there a you thinking?
Sure.
Right? Where is the you that's thinking? There isn't a you that's thinking because you keep saying I am thinking and they're thoughts.
Let's leave eyes
They're
out of the
just more
equation.
thoughts.
Let's leave the eyes. Let's say eyes don't exist.
It's over, mate.
Robert.
I can't say it. I can't
Let's-
say it any clearer than that.
No, let's leave the eyes away, right?
No, because
Why
that's
not?
what this is all about.
So-
This is about truth.
So you exist, their eyes are about.
The ego cannot know the truth, can it?
Okay. When we die, what happens to us?
There isn't a you that dies, it's the ego that dies.
So when you die, what's going to happen to your
There
ego?
isn't an ego. It's, look,
When I die, what's going to happen to me?
there isn't a you
Would
that
I be
dies.
thinking still?
Look, you're using thought to know reality. You
Okay.
can't know it.
In about 100 years' time, it is very unlikely that both of us will be still living.
Yeah, but what you're not realising is,
Robert,
that everything is one process.
the reality.
Life and death are beliefs. Life and death are beliefs.
Every soul
There's
certainly
no souls. Where's a
will
soul?
taste
Have you ever
death.
experienced a soul?
Every self, every Robert and every Mansour will taste death.
Look,
That's
you're
the
just
reality.
using- no,
Are you saying you're not going to die? Are you saying I'm not going to die?
Nothing is born and nothing dies.
So what's going to happen 100 years later in Robert and in Mansour?
Everything is changing all the time, right?
So we transform into something else. So when you are in the
but it does. This thing that we're trying to.
Sure. When you and I are in the graves, in our respective graves, you're saying the worm's going to come and eat you, and then you become part of the
There'll
worm.
be a story about him. He used to go to Hyde Park, and he was.
No.
and
I
all
want to know
that-
about what's going to happen to your body. So the body is going to be consumed by all these
I have never
bacteria and
experienced a body.
germs.
Where is your body? Have you experienced a body?
So you don't have a body.
That's a
so
concept.
So you're clothing.
No, you're using a
what are you
concept.
clothing with this clothes?
You're using a concept, and you're saying my body. Have you ever experienced a body?
Okay, fine. So you don't have a body,
You-
and you don't have a soul.
no one.
You don't have a mind
concept.
either.
You can't be a concept, can you?
So
Can't be a concept.
do you have children?
Don't you keep fucking evading what?
Why are you
asking?
calling? Why are you using
Look,
vulgar language? You don't. If you really cannot handle a conversation like this, then
look,
you might as well
do
say
I
sorry. I
have
don't.
children.
Do you have children?
Look, I don't live in that world, mate. I've come up here to point to something, but no one wants to listen because they're in an ego self. They're in a little separate ego self.
Are your parents still around?
What's that got to do with anything?
The reason I'm asking is, our parents.
No, what the mind
you don't want to
does,
know.
right? It creates a story about human beings being on a planet, right? Right? But their experience isn't saying that.
What's the reason of your
Yeah,
existence?
listen, your mind is telling you that you're at Speaker's Corner, right?
We're not here then.
Your experience isn't saying that.
This is not reality.
No,
for you.
listen, your experience isn't saying that.
Okay. So your experience is not communicating
Your
with your
mind
divinity.
is saying you're on a planet in
Sure.
a universe,
Okay.
right?
What's the reason you're created for,
You don't-
Robert?
you can't. Stop,
Why are you created for? What's the
you can't
purpose?
separate what.
What's
your
the purpose of your
experience is.
creation? Why are you created by the Creator?
I don't know. No one knows.
Okay. Has the Creator told you that no one knows? Our Creator has told us why He's created us.
None of the thoughts.
Are you fulfilling that purpose?
None of the thoughts are true.
Are you fulfilling the purpose that you're created for? Are you fulfilling the purpose, the reason why
None
you're
of the
created for?
thoughts- Look, none of these stories
If you-
about people on a planet
It's
are
not.
true.
It's not about stories,
They're
my
not.
friend Robert. If you are not fulfilling the purpose that you're created for, what's
I'm
going
not-
to
I'm not-
happen?
There isn't a me creating any of the impulses in my head, right? If hunger, if something, there's a feeling down here, and my mind to say that's hunger, so I'll either go to the toilet, or I'm not doing that. There isn't a me doing that.
Sure. Do you feel hungry sometimes? Do you feel hungry?
Things apparently happen.
Do you feel
They're
hungry?
not true. They're not true. No, I don't.
Do you feel thirsty?
Look, the mind is labelling sensations as anger.
So basically,
right?
I think
and then you're creating
I
a story about
understood.
it.
Your feelings are somehow disconnected from yourself.
No, well, no. What I'm saying is, the feelings are a real experience,
Yeah.
but what the mind says about it isn't true.
Sure.
Right?
So are you connected with your feelings? Do you feel for the oppressed?
I can feel that.
Do you
down
feel?
there.
Do you feel for those who are oppressed?
Yeah, that's why I'm here telling them
Yeah.
that they're in an ego self that's creating all their problems,
Sure.
right?
Now,
because
let's understand one
listen.
thing.
Look, if you get the sack from your job, right?
Is that what happened to
your
you?
ego will say oh, they did it to me, right? I'm naughty, I shouldn't have done that. They've sacked me, and now I can't put food on the
Just one question,
The mind
Robert.
creates a story.
Sure. Don't create any stories. Tell me, when you're really afflicted with trouble, pain and suffering, who do you turn to other than God?
Good question.
Who do you turn to other than God? When you're really suffering and there's no one can help you, your doctors can't help you, who do you turn to? Do you turn to God? But then,
What's that? It's a concept. That's
no.
another
Do you
concept.
turn to
It's
God, say,
another
"Oh God,
concept.
help me, take this pain away from me, this suffering away from me"? Do you do that?
Well, what? That's a nothing word.
That's why.
Do you turn to
That's
God?
like
Is the question.
turning to something inanimate. I mean, what is it?
Do you turn to Him?
I don't need to. I am I'm everything.
You are everything,
Well, not I am. There is only everything.
and you are not part of that everything.
I'm not. There's just everything.
Are you part of that everything?
No, everything can't have parts. Everything is everything. It doesn't have parts.
Okay.
I'd like to make that.
So you are not a part of anything.
There isn't. Everything doesn't have parts, does it? Because it's everything.
Really? How many things are in everything?
One thing I do regret.
Lots of things.
No, there isn't.
My brother.
Is it one thing?
Yeah.
Is everything one thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So everything is one thing. Is this one thing created or uncreated?
That's a story. We don't know. No, you can't. You're just making up another story using your mind.
Can your mind try to solve this story?
No, it can't.
So you can't.
It can't.
So okay, fine.
No.
So basically, you're in a position where you have no solutions, no answers to. This is where Islam will open up your
the
mind
ego thinks
to the
it's got the
reality
answers.
and give you all the answers. Islam
the
tells you
ego
very
thinks
clearly,
it's got the
you are a
answers,
creation,
right? It
you are
hasn't got the
created
answers.
for a purpose, and once you realize that, you will free from this problem that you're suffering from.
My big ego thinks it's better than other people's egos.
Okay,
That's all it
so
is.
let's leave it to that. That you just need to come back to the reality, and the reality is
There's no reality. You can stick whatever label on it you like.